Hi, Mr. Loader here. I want to talk to you about the learning for Tuesday, the 2nd of March. It's an English lesson. I wanted to start by talking to you through the starter activity. It's finish the sentence. I've given you a sentence starter. The children arrived. Okay. Now, each time I want you to think about what we can do to improve the sentence. Okay. What things could we include when completing it? Okay. Now, again, it's those similar things, isn't it? We can include adjectives. We could describe the children. Okay. Now we need to say, where did they arrive is probably the first thing that I'm asking myself. So here's an example. So the children arrive. Let's write that bit in first. Okay, now let me think about. Now I could say what year group. So let's do year 2, shall we? So the year 2 children arrived. Now where did I was talking to the children on Friday about where they'd like to go. If they could go anywhere, they said quite a few of them said Legoland. So the year 2 children arrived at Legoland. Okay, now the next thing I could ask myself is when did they arrive, or what did they arrive on? Okay, maybe the year 2 children arrived at Legoland just before 9 o'clock. That's what I'm going to do. So 10 words. Okay, so then in my class, we'll talk about it in a second. So let's write it down first. So the year 2 children arrived at Legoland just before 9 o'clock. Okay, it's actually 11 words. So the year 2 children, that gives more information about who, arrived at Legoland, and Legoland needs a capital letter because it's the name of the place. The year 2 children arrived at Legoland just before 9 o'clock. Okay, and then I need to put a full stop again, don't I, to end my idea. It sounds like a good school trip. So the year 2 children arrived at Legoland just before 9 o'clock. Okay, so in that sentence it tells me who, the year 2 children. It tells me what they did. They arrived. It tells me where, Legoland, and it tells me when. Okay, so we've got who, where, when. Now we could have said how, couldn't we? Okay, could we say the year 2 children arrived by bus at Legoland just before 9 o'clock? Okay, now I think keep on asking yourself those questions, and then it gives us more detail in the idea, doesn't it? Okay, right, see if you can think about your own one then. So our Walt for today, we are learning to write instructions for how to cross the road safely. Now let's just go through the important steps for crossing the road. So we've got first, think about where you should cross, and remember what I said. We said don't cross behind a lorry, don't cross in between cars, cross somewhere where it is clear. Stop at the side of the road. Okay, but don't hang over the edge. Stop just at the edge. Use your eyes and ears to see any approaching vehicles. Wait until the vehicles have passed. Look and listen again to make sure all is clear. Cross the road. Keep looking and listening as you cross the road. Remember what I said about the electric cars. They don't make as much noise these days as old cars, so it's harder to hear them. Okay, and then at the end, maybe we said about top tips, didn't we? You could say about electric cars. You could say about where to cross. Sorry. You could also say about using certain crossings or lollipop ladies or lollipop men to help, lollipop people to help. And this is what I did as an example. Started off, didn't I? Planning, which I'm going to use in a minute to help me write my ideas down. So your activity is to write instructions for how to cross the road safely. Remember to use the planning sheet that you used yesterday. Okay, and your challenge is to include top tips to cross the road safely. For example, don't run when crossing the road. Make sure your laces are always done up. That's a good tip. So here's an example. Now, I did do a things needed because when we've been writing instructions, we have come up with things that we need. Now, there isn't actually anything physically that we need, but I was going to be a bit creative. So our instructions need a title, don't they? And it's going to be how to, often instructions start with that, how to cross the road safely. It's always good to underline our title, use a ruler. So the things that we need now, we do, don't we? We need to use our eyes and our ears. They're really important. We need to have patience, okay? Because we've got to wait. We don't just rush out, do we? I guess you could also say common sense, okay, about when it's safe. Okay, so there's some important things that we need. Now, when we're writing them, we're going to need to use our time connectives, aren't we? Okay, and our bossy words. So if I look back, so the first thing was to think, wasn't it? Think about where it's best to cross. So I'm going to start my instructions. I'm going to leave a space. I don't need a bullet point anymore. That was my list of things. First, then I'm doing a little comma as a pause. Think about where it is best to cross. Okay, and remember to practice sentence. Sorry, I should have done that first. First, think about where it is best to cross. Okay, practice it a few times and then record it. Now we could just say where. Find somewhere where you can easily see the traffic in the road. So find somewhere where you can easily see the traffic in the road. So find somewhere where you can easily see the traffic in the road. So 11 words. So find somewhere where you can easily see the traffic in the road. Okay, and that's my first instruction. So then I'm going to go back to my plan sheet. Right, okay, it says stop at the edge of the road. So I need a time connective to start off with. So secondly, wait at the edge of the road. Secondly, secondly, wait at the edge of the road. Right, 8 words. Secondly, wait at the edge of the road. Secondly, wait at the edge of the road. Right. And I must remember my full stop. Okay, so you can carry on with the instructions. Now, just remember your top tips. So you might obviously finish your instructions and you can put them at the end. So you might just do a top tips and underline it. Okay. Don't cross in between 2 parked cars. Okay, there's one that you could use. It could be remember. You might, instead of top tips, you might do remember. And then the plenary, read your instructions to a partner/adult. Do they make sense? Have you used capital letters and full stops? Could you add on some top tips? That's if you don't manage to do it. Okay, I hope you found that useful. So remember those time words. Remember to practice your sentence before writing it down. Remember those bossy words. Okay, and remember to use your planning sheet from yesterday. Right, take care. Look forward to seeing you soon. Mr. Loader.